to cancel culture, hookup culture, or victim culture?
Well, neither could we. We created this platform for those other girls. Girls like us who want to give a different perspective from a Christian and conservative worldview.
We talk about life, work, relationships, pop culture, and everything in between. So let's be those other girls that just don't talk about culture,
but change culture.
Hello, everyone. You're listening to Those Other Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory.
And I'm Isabel.
And we are changing culture and bringing back traditional values.
Yes,
so welcome back, Isabel. Super excited to have you back. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here again. And so excited to chat with you and chat with all the audience. And yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, we actually have an amazing episode for you guys. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about beauty standards, and how as Christians we should be looking at these topics. I had asked you guys a couple days ago at this point, not weeks ago, a couple days ago, if you'd rather us talk about this story or the Morgan Wallen story, and it really was 50-50 for a long time. So I figured this conversation still needed to be had. So that's kind of really what we're going to talk about. We're going to go over the story, and then we both, I think, have very different experiences when it comes to our perceived beauty in society. So I think it'll be really good for us to have this conversation. So hopefully you'll hear from someone who is a Christian and who kind of has gone through something similar as you. So here we go. This is brought to you by BuzzFeed News. Anya Taylor Joy was once asked if she was self-conscious because her eyes are so far apart during an interview, and it's truly heartbreaking. The 27-year-old model turned actress rose to prominence after starring in a low-budget horror film, The Witch, which premiered at Sundance Festival in 2015. I also want to say she did amazing in Last Night in Soho. It's a 10 out of 10 movie in my top 5. Such a good movie. It's available on HBO Max. Everybody should watch it. Afterward, Anya went on to star in a range of acclaimed movies and TV shows, perhaps most notably the Netflix miniseries The Queen's Gambit. But this weekend, Anya found herself at the center of public attention online after some of her past comments about feeling insecure over her appearance resurfaced across social media. And during the interview, she was immediately asked if she ever felt self-conscious over her facial features. Per the transcript of the conversation, the very first question posed to Anya was, "You have those beautiful eyes and they're so far apart. When you were a kid, did they make you self-conscious?" And in response, Anya heartbreakingly revealed that she was made to feel insecure after being tagged in Facebook photos that poked fun at her eyes. She then went on later to say that she kind of stopped looking in mirrors for a very long time. "I still don't really spend a lot of time in front of mirrors because I really don't have to deal with my face," which is really sad. So I kind of just wanted to talk about beauty. What exactly is beauty? How should we be having this conversation? But first, let's talk about kind of like how we're so caught up in people's appearance, and we do this with celebrities all the time. And I'm guilty of it. I'm sure I've done it when I shouldn't have. Make comments on people's appearance, and I'm trying to be better at that. But what was your initial thoughts, Isabel, when you heard the story?
Honestly, it was just kind of like, it was a lot of like mixed, I guess, feelings and thoughts because, like, you know, I don't know. I feel like the beauty standards of the world are so different than the beauty standards of that of a Christian conservative woman. So it's like one of those things where, like, it's not a sin to put on makeup and to do your hair, but at the same time it's like how much are you like idolizing it, I guess. But as far as like I mean, the article itself talked about like just the different I guess features. I just think it's crazy that there's even like a standard because everyone's beautiful in their own way. I know it sounds cliche, but God made us uniquely, you know, beautiful, and we're all made there's no one like you in this world, even if you feel like, oh my gosh, um you know I don't like this part of my body or this or whatever. Like literally God made you perfect in the way that you are, and you're specifically designed in his image. So I think that like carrying that obviously as a Christian conservative woman helps us, or at least helps me, to feel like, okay, I don't have to go based on the beauty standards of the world, but rather what God says about me, right? But obviously from like a worldly point of view, I just think it's crazy that, they're like, oh, if you have like certain features, it makes you more beautiful. So the whole article was like, oh, it's what did it say, like celebrities that are surprisingly like beautiful or something like that.
Yeah,
um
yeah.
I think even the wording of that article was just a little like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Shockingly,
Like,
or
if my face,
yeah.
like, can you imagine if your face is on the article of like, hey, this woman is surprisingly beautiful? I'll be like, excuse you, what? Like, why
Yeah.
can't they just be beautiful, you know? So anyways,
Yeah.
but that's just my thoughts all over the place, but that's just kind of what came to my mind. What about you?
So initially, my first initial thought was like, "Oh my goodness, this is just so sad." Um, that the whole mirror thing is really sad that
Yeah,
she internalized all of that so much that she doesn't look in a mirror. And I don't have part of the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is I'm working on things myself, and I can say I
yeah,
don't have the highest body image perspective, but I don't turn away from mirrors. So I think you really have to have internalized what happened and be really hurt to not want to be around mirrors. And I also think it's interesting how society kind of just picks what they think is beautiful in the moment. Because I mean,
yeah.
we've all had this conversation before with your friends. Big lips, perfect example. Growing up, big lips, nobody wanted big lips. Having big lips was kind of like frowned upon. I remember a guy made a comment about my lips in like a negative way, and now, I mean, people pay like, and this isn't like a tooting my own horn. I'm just
People
saying how
literally
standards
get
change.
bruised
People,
up.
yeah, to have lips my size, which is crazy because a couple years ago it was looked down upon and it was considered weird and gross almost. So it's interesting how these beauty standards change. And it sometimes also is like, who is in charge of this? I mean, even like eyebrows, like my mom used to say how when she
The
was
bushy
younger
ones.
she used to pluck her my mom, she used to pluck her eyebrows really thin, and now it's kind of
I
like
know that.
thin isn't really in. It's, yeah,
The bushy, which
it's
I
almost like
actually
who.
like.
Yeah, I agree.
Those
I
are
like
always a lot.
thicker eyebrows a lot more.
I do too. Sorry,
So
there's like some
yeah,
weird
so
echo, but
no, we're good. We're good.
okay,
So
perfect.
I also wanted to think about when it comes to beauty and appearances, like some as Christians, we have to go back to what the Bible says. So it's going to be an article I'm going to link that just has a couple of verses that talk about that. In Proverbs 31:30, it says, "Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." And I think that in society today, so that's the other thing too. It's really hard because we know we're fearfully and wonderfully made. We know we shouldn't care about our outward appearance. We know that. But then when you go out in the real world, it's like it doesn't feel like anyone else really knows that or understands that, or like, because especially for
Yeah,
women, we're judged, things decisions are made, things happen because of our appearance. So it's
yeah,
really hard to focus more on what the Bible says and what God says and like why that matters. And I really like that verse. I also like First Peter 3 3 through 4. Your beauty should not come from outward adornments such as braided hair and the wearing of gold jewelry and the fine clothes. Instead, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. I really like
that's
that
beautiful.
because this isn't it is, and it's not what society finds beautiful when we are online. I mean, perfect example is I used to watch The Bachelorette with some friends, and um, that show. I'm
Sorry.
not a fan of the show, by the way. I just really wanted social interaction, so I would go. And they have all these girls, and they're a
They're real nice.
yeah. I just wanted social. Yeah. And they'd have all these girls and they were objectively beautiful, but everyone was always making comments and everybody there then comments on, okay, this girl's pretty, oh, this girl's hotter than her. And that's just how it is. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a negative thing. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing, but it just feels, at least for me, I really like going back to the outward appearance does not matter. What matters is on the heart. The outward appearance does not matter. Is what matter is on the heart. So Isabel, what are some things that you do when you're kind of feeling a little bit self-conscious about how you look?
I honestly just like remind myself that like my beauty is not measured by like what people say, but it's about, what God says about me. So just having those
Mm-hmm.
reminders and also just being real with yourself and like not every day I'm like, yes, girl, my outfit's popping, my hair is on fleek. Like it's just like every day I don't wake up feeling like that. So I just try to give myself grace for the days that I don't feel like my best or feel the most confident and just remind myself that it's okay. Because I think also you can't just like be fake about it and be like, oh yeah, I look great, and like you truly don't feel great in that moment. Like I think it's okay just to give yourself grace and that, beauty comes from within and just try to internalize that as much as possible. Write reminders on sticky notes, whatever, and just remind yourself that you're beautiful no matter what. And at the end of the day, yeah, beauty comes from within. And what matters is what God says about you and how you feel about yourself. So, yeah, very, very
Yeah,
much so.
I yeah, no, that's really good advice because and I like how you said that every day you don't wake up and you go, "Yes, I'm this beautiful goddess queen." I feel like so that's why I personally I'm body neutral because I feel
Yeah,
like there's so much pressure every single day to wake up and be like, "You're the this is the best you've ever looked. You are gorgeous." Like, and the reality is some
yeah,
days you might not feel that way. Some days you objectively might not be looking your best. So it doesn't make sense, at least for me. Like, I just don't
yeah,
understand how people can say that. Like, every single day they feel beautiful. I personally
yeah,
I don't understand that. I don't relate to that. And I think there's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to feel like you have to be beautiful all of the time.
yeah. And also, it's just like being comfortable in your skin. And I think that comes with like, we've talked about it,
Hmm.
it comes with like age and just experiences, right? Like, I
Hmm.
literally will go like this. I'm not even wearing makeup right now. And my hair's not done. But that's just because I feel beautiful without makeup. I feel beautiful without my hair done. Has that always been the case? No. I've always like, especially like those critical years, like middle school and high school, like I would wake, I don't know about you, but I would literally wake up 2 hours before school started just so I could look cute. And I'm like, for what? And now I'm like, okay, you think I'm ugly? Bye. Like, I don't care. Like, that's just too much energy wasted on things that really at the end of the day don't matter. Of course, be well groomed and everything, but I'm talking about like actually feeling like, you know, having to put your hair and makeup every single day. Like, it's a no for me.
Yeah. No, seriously. So I never did the whole 2 hour thing, but I had friends that did that. And
Yeah.
um it just it's so interesting because like I said, I never had that. I never like wanted to wake up and do my makeup early and do straight my hair, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But my friends that did do that, they seemed very stressed. But what I did notice is they were the girls that were getting the guys. I wasn't doing all that. I was just waking up, putting forth my best foot forward, and then just being like, hello. And I wasn't getting the guys. So it did internalize things, especially at a young age. So it did, I noticed that and I internalized that and I kind of, I saw that difference. And as I got older, that's when I
Mm.
really was like, okay, I need to start doing makeup. I need to start doing things to look more attractive. And
Yeah.
once again, it goes back to like what's difficult is none of that stuff really does matter. Like we should be able to
Right.
get to a place, and I'm saying this as someone who's working on it. I'm not there yet. Any of my friends
Same. For me, I don't
know
have
that I'm
days.
not there yet. But we should get to a place
No.
where yeah, if you hear me talking,
Yeah.
in my personal conversation, but we should get to a place where like all that we care about and all that matters is how God views us. So if, we
Yes.
go into a room and everyone else is quote unquote more attractive than us and all the guys are talking to someone else and they're not talking to you, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, what the Bible says, argue with God, don't
Yeah.
argue with me. The Bible says,
Okay.
I'm,
Mhm.
don't argue with me, argue with God. It says that it is your inner self, the unfading beauty of gentle and quiet spirit, that is great worth in God's sight. 1 Timothy 4:8, physical exercise has some value, but spiritual exercise is more important. It promises a reward in both this life and the next. So like that's really what should matter when we go into these rooms. And that's what
Yes.
I've really been working on. I'm coming out of a season where I just was really struggling with my body image just because of surrounding things. I'm almost 30, blah blah. So I've really
Oh,
struggled, but one of the things that I've really been working on is
you're
just
beautiful.
caring about thank you. One of the things I'm just working on is just caring about what is God saying? What is it
Yeah.
that um how does oops, sorry y'all. Just dropped my phone. How does God actually see me?
Yeah. And I think too, I love that. And I think another thing too is just like you're right. Like sometimes you might feel really confident and beautiful, right? And then some days you won't. And then sometimes you feel confident alone, but then it's like you go in a room full of beautiful people or, quote unquote, you
Mhm.
think they're more beautiful than you or whatever. And then you start kind of feeling self-conscious and like just like intimidated, I guess. I think like it happens to everyone. And it's weird because like you think like the most beautiful girl
Yes.
doesn't feel insecure, but I have been around growing up, I was in drill team, I was a professional cheerleader. I have been in rooms with many beautiful, beautiful women, and if as I was talking to these women, and some of them are my friends and all that, every single one of them, no matter how beautiful they were or how beautiful I thought they were, had insecurities. So I think is one thing, like when you're in a room full of people and you might not feel the best and the best in your skin or comfortable in your skin, it's okay. Like you said, you don't have to like feel like okay, no one else is feeling this way. Like just have that confidence that like no, if whoever you feel like is the most beautiful person in that room also has insecurities. So like everyone feels that way at some point in their life. And I think that also helps me feel like, okay, well, I could be comfortable in my skin and I can give myself grace. And, everyone feels insecure at some point. So, like, you're not alone, basically. And the other thing, too, is like encouraging women. If you see someone having a tough time, if you see someone not feeling themselves, if you see someone like a girl that's like off in the corner and you can kind of tell that she's not really feeling confident, like give her a compliment. Obviously, don't be fake and be like, girl, I love your dress. If you really don't love her dress, but compliment
Right.
something,
Don't do that,
or
God forbid.
also like compliment some. Yeah, and also I think as a culture we could do better. It was saying like compliments that are not about your. I saw a post on Instagram, so I follow a lot of like those little like word memes or whatnot, and it was saying like to compliment people on things that are not based on their appearance. So like, hey, you have a beautiful like, oh, well,
Hmm.
smile is your looks, but hey, you have a beautiful heart, you have a caring heart, you have a beautiful personality, like things that are not just outward. And then that way we as a culture can kind of shift that from like going just based on vanity and looks to like what really is important, because honestly, yeah, your face and your body might get you quote unquote the guys or the girls that you want to talk to, but at the end of the day, like that's all, and it's that's all a facade. If you don't have a beautiful soul and a beautiful heart, then there's really no substance to you, and it don't matter how beautiful you are. And I talk to guys and girls and they say the same thing. It's like it goes back, and now it's like more like dating, but it's like, yeah, obviously you want your partner to be attractive, but at the end of the day, like you're not going to be with someone just because they're a model and their personality is a rock. So just keep
Yeah.
that in mind, you know I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense, but
no. That made lots of sense. That's very valid. And I really like how you were two things that I like that you said. I like that you said that everybody feels that way. And I think that especially growing up, you don't think that. When you're not in the in
yeah.
crowd, it really does feel like you're the only one. And like I said, my friends that were waking up super early doing the makeup and straightening their hair, they probably felt just as bad as I did. And that's why they were doing all of that. And I don't think we think of those things. I think we just think that we're just the only ones that
Yeah.
are going through these struggles. But I think it is comforting to know like no matter how you look, especially as a woman, you do kind of feel some sort of sense of insecurity. The second thing I
Right.
also liked how you said like giving um our fellow sisters compliments. And like encouraging them. I think I have a friend who perfect example. So yesterday I went out with some of my friends for another one of my friends' birthdays. And one of my friends kept
Hmm.
gushing over she liked my outfit, she thought I looked cute. just Mallory thing. And
Listen,
she just
honestly,
kept
a small compliment
saying,
goes a long way, you know?
yes, it like made my heart so happy, and I wanted her to like not
Yes.
stop, but it was just it was so
You're
sweet.
like,
And like
yes.
I was like, yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. No, but like I
Honestly,
just it was
though.
just it was so sweet, and that really does make a difference in people's lives. And it's little things. It's little things
Yeah,
like that. She probably has no idea how much I
exactly.
appreciated that, especially with just kind of the season that
Yes.
I'm in. Just hearing some of these compliments are so nice. So, you know,
Our
after this
words have the
episode is
power,
over,
like our word. Sorry about that. What were you saying?
no, 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 go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, yeah, the compliments. Honestly, I'm a big believer in being like, I know it's like cliche, but just like, being encouraging to one another because, like, you're all gonna have down days. And honestly, like, every single time someone has complimented me, I'm literally like, I don't even know how to act. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, my face glows and, like, I'm just so happy. I'm just like, I love you and your family and God bless you. But honestly, and so I like to give that back to people as much as I can, because it literally
Yeah.
makes me so happy and cool seeing someone else's face light up and be like, you know what? Yes, I like my outfit. Yes, I look cute. There's one of those things, and I feel like
Yeah.
those compliments come at the most unexpected times when you need them. Like I remember, like not too long ago, I was driving and I was literally not feeling myself. I was like, I hate my outfit. I don't like how my hair looks. Like I'm not feeling myself right now. Like I feel sad. It's probably PMSing. And then I get to the restaurant we were gonna eat, and then the server guy, he was like, "Girl, I love your outfit. It's giving." And I was like, "Period. Like, yes, it is." And I literally was just like in my head, I was having this conversation. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was just complaining to myself about how ugly I was, or not how ugly I was, but how
Just how
ugly I
much you didn't like
felt
the
or not.
outfit.
That's confident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the guy was like, "Yes, girl, it's giving." And I was like, "You know what? It is. It is, boo." And I do look cute. Honestly, it
No,
does make
I
the day,
love
so.
that. It does. It really does. And I love that because you know, like you said earlier, words have power. Words have
Yes,
power
they
when you're
do.
saying things to people. They really can change
Make
someone's
or break.
perspective. Like it can make or break someone's day, and I love that. Just throw out compliments. So when this episode is over, go ahead and text your friend, um, that the last outfit she wore, if you liked it, you liked it and she looked cute. Go comment on one of your friends' Instagram pages, on one
Be
of her posts.
genuine.
Like, yeah, and be
Me,
genuine. Now if
I
your
wouldn't
friend
go
wore
and
something you
get
didn't
like a
like, don't
button
tell
for
her that
anything,
outfit.
but
But if
still,
there's
like
another
something
outfit,
that's
say
not
that. You know what I
not
mean? Um, so another question I wanted to ask about beauty is, what are some things that you do? So we've talked so much about inward, and it
period.
is important. Your inward is the most important beauty you need to have. Once again, don't argue with me, argue with God. It's in the Bible. Ladies, it's in the Bible. That's what matters. So what are some other things
Right.
outwardly are you thinking? So where do you think, we kind of sort of talked
Yes.
about it earlier, where do you think the line is drawn with like makeup and breast implants and cheek injections and um like contouring your whole face? Like where do you think the line is drawn with that? Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, it's kind of hard to say because I feel like everyone's definition of that is like
Yeah.
so different. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is a line because that's just gonna be my line. Personally, for me, magically, drastically gonna change my body, and I have a lot of opinions about that based on my research. So it's not really, this is just my personal, right? One, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, God says I'm beautiful. Like, why do I need to change my body to whatever? But I understand people that are like, well, I wanna feel confident in my skin and whatnot, right? But I
Mhm.
also know that with just like with anything, right? You always want more and more and more. Like even my eyebrows, like they're but like
Mhm.
I like drawing, not drawing them, but like putting the little brush. And then lately, I'm like, oh, I want it more and more. I'm like, I'm gonna have the bushiest eyebrows if I don't like, keep an eye on it. So I feel like you always want more. So that's always been my fear with surgery. It's like you're gonna want
Yeah.
more. Like, oh, my boobs are gonna be this, and then it's like, oh no, I want bigger and bigger. Same thing with your butt. So I don't really
Mm.
touch on that, but also just like the toxins that are in those silicones and all that, like it's
Mhm.
literally like poison for your body. There's been a lot of I guess, drawback on that and research now, 20, 30 years later, of women with implants who have tons of like medical implications and illnesses and things like that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, guys, you're putting something that is not made in your body, that your body does not produce, inside of you, in your bloodstream and everything. So anything that you put on as far as products, your skin, your hair, and like, again, I'm not going to sit here and be holier than thou, because again, not all of my products that I use or makeup is safe and clean, but I am trying to, as much as I can. Fun fact, my hair hasn't been dyed in years, and it's partially because,
Oh,
one, it's super expensive. Two,
okay, okay.
it's just to me, you put on your scalp, it literally seeps into your bloodstream. So I'm like, we ain't doing all that. But anyways, off topic. But yeah, I mean, I feel like with makeup and hair, like obviously to me it's fine. Like if you want to do that to feel a little bit more confident and like your hair look a little bit nice, whatnot. Again, I don't think anyone needs it. But I definitely think if you want to add a little blush and a little, a little makeup, won't hurt anyone. But at the end of the day, again, it's a lot about checking your heart and checking yourself and checking yourself with God to make sure, like, hey, am I
Mm,
doing this because
mm-hmm,
I just want to feel a little, picker upper, or is because I literally hate myself, hate my what I look like without makeup? Because that's a different issue. So I think it's just a
mm-hmm,
conversation that needs to be had with the person and God, and but obviously, I'm a lifestyle blogger. I love doing my hair, love doing my makeup. Personally, to me, it's like it's more of an expression. But again,
mm-hmm,
I don't mind going into that same room where I would be glammed up, going in without my hair done and without makeup. But that's just me personally. And again, it took years. So, right, I'm almost 30. I didn't always feel like this. So, like, again, give yourself grace. If there's, our audience is a bit younger. If you guys are in your early 20s, or, even if in your teens, like, just know that even if you don't feel confident now, like, you will eventually, be comfortable in your skin, and just give yourself grace. And it's okay to not feel 100% every single day. I mean, you're human. So, yeah, it's kind of my take. What about you? What are your thoughts?
love that. Um, love that. And then the last thing you said, with age, I was thinking about this earlier, like, why am I not caring as much? It is because you realize there's so
Yeah.
many other things more important than your appearance. I think that, and I'll even say for myself, like, I do care about my appearance. I have been wearing makeup a lot more, and I've been doing like a little skincare
It's
routine now.
beautiful. I was gonna say that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I obviously I care, but it's not the end of the world for me like it was when I was younger.
Yeah.
Um, just because there's so many other things about life that's more interesting, more important, that I care about more. So that's one of the things. So the question about the line.
Yeah.
I really like what you said. I'm gonna agree. The line is different for everyone. I can't sit here and I personally don't think people should do lip injections or the butt stuff or boob. That's something I just personally don't think
I'm
you
also just a
should.
scaredy cat.
Oh, I could never. Um, and I have friends that do it. I'm not judging. Like, I don't judge if you do. It is what it is. You probably look great. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say anything specifically about that. I just don't think you
Yeah.
should. But you probably look great. But I think the valid point that you made is like, what is your intent behind it? And I think that is really what's important. And I mean, that's important in every aspect of your appearance
Yeah.
altogether. Like, even I before I was like wearing any type of makeup, like I have on some highlighter from Hope Beauty. Before I even started doing stuff like that, I was always wearing lipstick because I've always loved lipstick. My grandma was when she was younger,
Yeah.
not when she was young. Well, I mean, she was younger, but when I was younger specifically, my grandma used to always say, like, don't leave the house without lip gloss, earrings. You always have a pair of earrings in, and lipstick, something
Oh,
on
that's
your
so
lips.
sweet.
Uh, yeah, so
Yeah.
like, and that's literally what I do now. Like, if you see me without earrings in, that means I'm having a rough day. I always leave the house with earrings and lipstick on. So, so it's like, But my whole thing is
Mhm.
like even something as simple as like lipstick. Like, what is your intent in wearing lipstick?
Yeah,
Are
of
you wearing
course.
lipstick because you want to enhance your lips and you're like, oh, this is fun. I love this color. Or are you wearing it because I have to have something on my lips, or nobody's gonna ever gonna love me, and like I have to do something about it. It really depends on like your intent behind it, and then
Yeah, it's a lot of the
getting to
why.
the
It's like what's in your heart, you know? That's why it says God
yes.
doesn't look at the appearance, he looks at the heart. So it's like you could do
Mm-hmm.
all these things and like you could still obviously be a godly woman, right? But then if I'm doing all these things and I have this heart of like, I want to be better than everyone, and I have this bitterness in my heart because someone else looks better than me, like that's what God's judging you, right? Like he's not judging you because you
Mm-hmm.
put on a $2 lip gloss.
Right.
So yeah, I think it
Exactly.
just goes back.
Yeah. No, it goes back to intent, like the why, like what is in your
Yeah,
heart. And the whole thing about God judges what's in your heart, that is really what this all beauty and how we're perceived, all that comes down to is like what's in the heart.
right.
Outwardly beauty standards change so much. Not only do beauty standards change so
Trends
much,
change all
what
the time.
all the time. What we find beautiful in America could be completely different of what they find beautiful in Asia, what they find beautiful in Africa, what they find
Or
beautiful in
Asia.
Iceland. It could be I
And
mean, it
yeah, and that's like God says,
go ahead.
my word like stands true for the today, tomorrow, forever. Like that is the beauty
Mm.
of being a Christ follower is that, trends can come and go, beauty will come and go, presidents will come and go, but like God's word is true and you can always count on it not changing. So if he says, your beauty should not be measured in the ways of the world, like he knows what he's talking about because trends change all the
Yeah.
time and that exhausting to try to like keep up with all that. Like it's exhausting now. I'm like, oh, so we're back to the skinny brows. Like what? Oh, we're back with the high jeans. By the way, I'm
Right.
never going back to the low rise jeans. Even though I was like a young, like a kid when the low rise came out.
I was gonna say,
Still,
wait,
I
how
would
old
never
were
do low
you?
rise.
I feel like we were a little. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we were a little
I'm like,
young to
wait,
be wearing low rise jeans, but okay. Okay,
you're
if
like,
that was
wait a
your
minute,
thing,
hold
you
up.
know.
You're like, don't age me.
I was like, okay. No, but
I love
yeah,
high
like
jeans.
trends change so much, and you're right. Like that's one of and I'm repeating what you said, which I hate when I do that, but like that is the beauty of being a Christian, having your identity in Christ. Is
Oh, yeah,
realizing that it's not going to change. Like what he says about you is not going to change. And that's it's so much
literally.
more is such a better concrete thing to
I feel like
hold on to.
it's so freeing.
Yes, it's so
I was
freeing.
saying, no.
It's yeah. Go ahead, sorry. I
No.
think I was cutting you
I was
off. Go
just gonna
ahead, go
say,
ahead.
yeah, it's so freeing because you're like, yeah, have you seen those memes? It's like, oh, they're like, I don't need to work out. Jesus says when we die, we're gonna get a new body. And you're like,
Yeah.
bye. And honestly, a little off, but true because God never wants us to focus on something so much other than Him, right? So whatever we like sit and wonder and like ponder on and idolize, like He don't want that. And He's like, okay, why are you doing this? Like it's not even gonna matter in the end, you know? And honestly, it doesn't. So, and I think back to like what we were saying about beauty and everything, like how do I feel confident? I think it just also goes back to feeling like you only have one life. Do you really want to live it like constantly spending your energy and thoughts and words talking down on yourself and not feeling
Mm,
confident and not wearing that dress because you're like, oh my God, what is this person's gonna say? What is that? Honestly, like, no, I always go back to that. And that's my biggest motivator. Like, I'm never gonna be this young. I'm never gonna be this healthy. Oh, well, yes, hopefully, God willing, I will be healthy all my life. But you know what I mean? Like, you're never gonna be this young and this and this skin and
you.
your body. So like might as well embrace it. There's so many testimonies of people going back and they're like 40-year-old women, 50-year-old women, so on and so forth. And they're like, man, like if I could take one thing back, it's like I wish I wasn't so critical of myself. Like 20 years ago, I wish I would have worn that bathing suit. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. So it's like, don't live your life on the could have, should have, would have, and not every day is going to be like rainbows and sunshines, but that's why for me I'm like, no, I'm gonna wear that dress, I'm gonna do my hair, I'm gonna wear that makeup. Like if it makes me feel confident, if it makes me feel beautiful, if it adds to that, then yes. obviously I'm not gonna idolize it, but that's the way I see it. I'm like, life is too short. Wear that cute outfit. Thanks. Bye.
Yes, 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 yes. To wrap it up, I also want to just add we love looking cute. And I'll end it on that no, but um in all seriousness, we like looking cute. I this top, I wore this top on purpose
It's
because
just
I
so
think it's
fun, you
cute.
know?
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to just reiterate like that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's fun. That's fine. What we really want to highlight and talk about is our intent behind why we obsess over beauty, our intent of why are we doing different things, enhancing, changing. That's really what this is all about. And just a reminder, like, the Bible does say we're fearfully and wonderfully made, and I know I really struggle with that personally, because I mean, I've heard that my whole life, and it kind of it's like, okay, I get I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, but what I'm really, once again, like, this is what's working for, no, seriously, it's just like, okay, okay, we get it. What's really working for me is just remembering, like, is God, like, he's the one who is, his opinion is the opinion that matters the most, and
It
sticking
should be
with
the loudest.
that. Yes, his voice should be the loudest. Oh, that's good. And we'll end it on that, unless you want to add anything else.
No, no, that's it. I think I covered everything that I had to say. I feel like I go in circles
Okay.
sometimes, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Let us know in the comments or and on Spotify, like, what are some things that you do to remind yourself that you're beautiful? What are some scriptures you look at? Do you have like a routine? Does it make you feel beautiful to do some of your skincare? Does it make you feel beautiful to go for a jog? Let us know what are some of the things that you do. You can answer this on Spotify, and then you can also answer it in the comments on YouTube and the comments on the app. We'll also have it on the app. If you enjoy this episode, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that. If you're on Apple Podcasts, rate it. Give us a 5-star review because I know you felt this was a 5-star podcast. Leave a review telling us what you enjoy about the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow our account and answer the question, and wherever else you're listening, make sure you leave some comments, interact with us. If you guys ever have questions about this, you want to talk to me or Isabel, we have our Instagrams linked. You can reach out. You can also email me, and if it's something for Isabel, I'll get it over to her. So yeah, so you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. You have a great night, evening, however, wherever you're listening. Bye.